Hi everyone, welcome. Chapter 8 on human development is one of my favorite chapters because we have all experienced much of what's described in this chapter. With this chapter, we start a new theme in the semester of how we became who we have become. And this human development chapter gives us a chance to look backward and look forward in our lives. Human development is complex, fascinating, and a long topic, so we're actually going to spend 2 weeks on this topic. There's so much to say here. As you can imagine, human development over the lifespan has been a topic of research for psychologists since our beginning. We will discuss 3 types of human development: biological or physical development, cognitive or psychological development, and social development, that is like socio-emotional, socio-cultural development. The field of psychology views human development as a lifelong process, with each decade of life holding different themes, new events, and offering unique challenges. When we hear development, it's common to think of child development, like only from birth to childhood to adulthood. And many people imagine that when we become grown-ups, that development ends. It does not. It does not end. Human development is a lifelong process. So there's a lot to discuss in this chapter. This week, part 1 of this 2-week topic will describe human development, what it is, and review some of the most prominent and most studied theories to understand human growth and change over time. One of the most famous theories is Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development, that is, how we grow in our thinking processes from birth to adulthood. Now, we're probably familiar with the ways a child thinks, concrete versus abstract, simple versus more complex. But many people do not know that humans maximize their cognitive thinking skills as teenagers. A teenager has the same capability for complex thought as an adult. They just lack life experience and information that only comes with time, Cognitive development specifically is not lifelong. We actually peak, we max out as teenagers. Erikson's theory of psychosocial development is another of the most prominent and influential theories in the history of psychology, as Erikson was the first to discuss psychological development and social development as a lifelong process. For example, you, the grown-ups in this course, think about this. In your 20s, you're challenged to select a career path in life, starting in college with choosing a major or a double major as a career path to a fairly specific profession. Next, or somewhere in there, you may decide on personal relationships like marriage, yes or no, do I want that, do I not want that? And subsequently, you must decide whether or not to have children, yes or no, do I want that, and when, now versus later. And the developmental challenges continue. In your 30s and 40s, there are career decisions to be made. There's parenting, trying to be a good parent. In one's 50s and 60s, you're preparing for retirement, a life after the workforce. Grandchildren may be a part of your life in your 50s and 60s. And in old age, in one's 70s and 80s, there's much reflecting on life as one looks back, examining positives and negatives, points of pride, and maybe even some regrets. And of course, the last developmental challenge for all of us is preparing for inevitable death. So the point here in part 1 of this chapter on human development is a lifelong process because each age of life holds different themes, new events, and offers unique challenges. With this chapter and our theme, how we became who we have become, I hope it gives you pause to contemplate what lies ahead on life's developmental path. This is one of my favorite chapters, and I think you're going to like this. Let's get started.